Have you ever noticed that the moment someone tells you not to do something, you suddenly feel a strong urge to do exactly that? That reaction isn't random, it's psychological. Your mind hates being controlled. The moment it senses pressure, it pushes back. This hidden reaction is called reverse psychology. Reverse psychology is a technique where instead of asking directly, a person influences you by suggesting the opposite of what they actually want. When someone says, "Don't do this," your brain hears, "They're trying to take away my choice." And the ego doesn't like that, so it reacts. This is why reverse psychology works so effectively on strong-minded people, on teenagers, and on anyone who hates being told what to do. The more independent the personality, the stronger the reaction. In dark psychology, this technique is rarely used innocently. It's often used to create desire, to trigger insecurity, and to gain emotional control. Instead of saying, "I want your attention," a manipulator might say, "Don't worry, I know you're too busy for me." Now guilt enters the mind. Now the roles shift. And suddenly, you're the one chasing. Salespeople use this all the time. They say things like, "This product probably isn't for you." Most people can't handle this level of quality, and without realizing it, you want to prove them wrong. That's not confidence. That's manipulation. The psychological mechanism behind this is deeply rooted in our need for autonomy and self-determination. When we feel our freedom is being restricted, we instinctively want to restore it. Toxic people use reverse psychology to trap emotions. They say, "I don't think you can survive without me." Now, it's no longer about love. It becomes a challenge. And challenges are addictive. This creates an unhealthy dynamic where you're constantly trying to prove your worth or independence, which is exactly what the manipulator wants. You become emotionally invested in disproving their statement rather than evaluating whether the relationship is healthy. Listen carefully to these phrases. "Do whatever you want. You wouldn't understand. You're probably not ready. Forget it. It's not important." These aren't casual words. They are triggers designed to provoke action. Each phrase is carefully crafted to make you feel dismissed, underestimated, or left out, which naturally triggers a desire to engage, explain, or prove yourself. In relationships, reverse psychology can be particularly damaging. When someone says, "I'm fine, do what you want," they're often not fine at all. They're testing you, waiting to see if you'll choose them without being asked directly. This creates confusion and anxiety because you're forced to decode hidden messages instead of having honest communication. Parents sometimes use reverse psychology with good intentions. Telling a child, "You probably can't finish your vegetables," might motivate them to do exactly that. In this context, when used sparingly and with genuine care, it can be a gentle nudge toward positive behavior. However, overusing this technique can make children distrustful and overly focused on proving others wrong rather than making choices based on their own values. In the workplace, reverse psychology appears in subtle forms. A manager might say, "This project is probably too challenging for the team right now," knowing that high performers will want to rise to the challenge. While this might boost productivity temporarily, it can also create a culture where people feel they must constantly prove themselves, rather than working collaboratively. Reverse psychology can be used responsibly in parenting, motivation, and negotiation, but the intention matters. If the goal is guidance, it's influence. If the goal is control, it's manipulation. The difference is thin and dangerous. True influence respects the other person's autonomy and aims to help them grow. Manipulation seeks to control behavior for the manipulator's benefit. The strongest defense against reverse psychology is awareness. Once you recognize the pattern, it loses its power, because a mind that understands psychology cannot be easily controlled by it. When you notice someone using reverse psychology, pause before reacting. Ask yourself if your desire to act is coming from genuine interest or from a triggered ego response. Are you making this choice freely, or are you being maneuvered into it? Developing emotional intelligence helps you distinguish between authentic communication and manipulation. Pay attention to how you feel when someone speaks to you. Does their statement make you feel guilty, defensive, or challenged? These emotional reactions are often signs that reverse psychology is at play. Building self-awareness is crucial. Know your triggers and tendencies. If you're someone who always needs to prove others wrong, you're especially vulnerable to this technique. Understanding this about yourself allows you to pause and choose your response, rather than reacting automatically. Healthy relationships are built on direct, honest communication. When both parties can express their needs and desires openly, without games or manipulation. Trust deepens and connections strengthen. If you find yourself constantly decoding hidden messages or feeling tested, it might be time to establish clearer communication boundaries. Stay alert, stay aware. In the world of dark psychology, what you think is your choice often isn't. Your autonomy is precious, protected by understanding how influence works, recognizing when it's being used against you, and choosing to respond consciously rather than react automatically. The power always lies in awareness, and once you see the pattern, you can break free from its control.